Hey, true believers, Englentine here with another little episode of Comic Geek News. I don't know. I like to title my shows. Maybe that would be. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about a villain that could restore balance to Star Wars. Then go on and talk a little bit about how PETA is going after Toy Story 4. And then end the show on the Wonder Twins comic book. Yeah, there was something I really wanted to know about it, and I think the article I found answers it. However, we're going to start with Star Wars Episode 9's rumored villain may bring balance to the franchise. I haven't read this article, and I'm always nervous when I do, because it's like, okay, what's the reaction, how it's going to be. I am not a Star Wars EU guy, I'm a movie guy, so everything I know is on screen, not in the books, somewhat in the comics, but that's not my strong suit. So yeah, let's dig into the article and find out what it says here. The new Star Wars trilogy has been more diverse than Disney Lucasfilm could ever have imagined. People have been split on Daisy Ridley's Rey being Luke's successor, the direction and overall demise of Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. A vocal contingent of fans have even blasted the franchise approach towards diversity. That's not a bad way of putting it, because it's not that Star Wars fans, majority of them, aren't mad because of diversity. I mean, it's a franchise with aliens in it. How can you be mad that there's people who don't look like you? That's not the problem. It's how it's been handled. So yeah, saying it's the approach, I can get behind that. Another point of contention has to do with the new villains in the series. Many fans were disappointed that the Supreme Leader Snoke was killed after being set up as such an intimidating figure in Force Awakens. While others believe Kylo Ren's ascension as ruler of the First Order in Last Jedi still doesn't make him worthy of following in the footsteps of his granddad Darth Vader or Emperor Palpatine. I'm interested to see where Kylo Ren's story goes. I think he could be a good villain. I think so far he's been played pretty well, as a matter of fact. I can understand that some fans will never give him the time of day, and I think part of the problem is because they removed the mask. There was mystery in the mask. As soon as they revealed it was Driver, it's like, yeah, he's a pretty boy, kid, whatever, whiny brat, Anakin style. So, yeah, some people were never going to like him. However, the latest rumor, which speaks of a mysterious realm of pure, unadulterated evil in Star Wars Episode 9, is exactly what these movies need to ignite the fire in haters once more. I don't know if that's who you should be going for, man. Haters gonna hate, as they say. Those are the ones you're never going to win over. It's been rumored that Adam Driver's Kylo Ren may face deadly opposition other than an empowered Rey, who's now stronger in the wake of Luke's death thanks to the sacred text she stole. This threat comes in the form of the Beyond, a dark corner of the galaxy, or even possibly another dimension. If rumors are to be believed, this is where Kylo has sent his Knights of Ren to explore and relay news about whatever lies within this mysterious expanse, and whether it is indeed coming to consume the galaxy. Regardless of whether you're on the light or dark side of the Force, this could be a troubling possibility, which is why it could finally bring balance to the Force in the galaxy far, far away. Alright, that sounds cool. I mean, I don't know anything about this if it comes from the EU, if it's a brand new thing for Star Wars Episode 9. I'm in. This is a brilliant stroke for a few reasons. For one, it actually gives the Knights some agency and explains why they suddenly went missing without explanation during TLJ. In TFA, we saw them with Kylo when he raised Luke's Jedi Temple as Snoke's enforcers. This could also create an interesting dynamic, given that Kylo is still presumably hiding the truth about the death of the First Order's Supreme Leader. Yeah, that sounds good on the surface, but Knights of Ren come back, they find out Snoke was killed by Kylo Ren, they turn on him. They were following him because of a reason, and one of the reasons would probably be that they understand that Kylo Ren is far more powerful than them, so I don't know exactly what kind of threat they would actually pose to him. You know, maybe they have the numbers against him. Because TLJ blurred the line so much about what the purpose and powers behind the Force, with Luke confirming that the Jedi and Sith were cut from the same cloth of arrogance and control, the Beyond also affords an ideal way to move away from the polarity established within the Force. Mysticism is a big part of Star Wars lore, but a gradual shift of its supernatural mythos to an unknown villain like this holds more mystique. intrigue, and even hope, especially after both Luke and Kylo made it clear that their religions had to end. After all, what unites two sides of conflict better than a shared enemy? Yeah, I don't know. As far as this is concerned, part of the greatness, in my opinion, of Star Wars is it's very black hat, white hat. You know who the bad guys are. You know who the good guys are. You get to root for the good guys as they beat the bad guys. This sounds a little bit more like the modern-day deconstruction where, oh, nobody's actually evil because in their own point of view, what they're doing is good kind of BS. Give me the black hat, white hat story. The possibility of a greater threat allows returning director J.J. Abrams to reposition the Force, as many fans believe it was meant to be, a power with the purpose to preserve life. This builds on the last movie's theme that the light, dark simply depends on who uses it as such. The Beyond may even unite Kylo and Rey for the greater good, officially moving them away as blind disciples to their individual causes, no longer restricted by their respective orders. The chaos it brings can easily see Rey evolve the Jedi, with Kylo even converting his army into Force troopers, with both leaders weaponizing the Force to preserve the very fabric of reality. Okay, have them come together, have them be fighting another villain or whatever, sure, but you cannot forget that Kylo Ren killed Han Solo, so he does deserve to suck the pipe. The man needs to be taken out, and he needs to be treated like a villain while he is being taken out. After all, as Luke said, the Force is for everyone. It's within everyone and has been stated many times throughout the entirety of the franchise, moves through everything. The Beyond also offers these people a chance to rise up as part of a bigger rebellion against what the Knights of Ren are purportedly reporting to be the anti-Force. Life and anti-life, Force and anti-Force, okay. So long as it isn't midichlorians, because that's one thing I love about the Yoda speech. It moves through everything. That is wonderful. And I didn't like the midichlorians because it kind of negated that beautiful speech in Empire Strikes Back. What's notable as well is that this carves out a path towards Kylo's redemption. Even after all he's done, we must also consider the common enemy may even create a romance for the shippers in this fandom. After all, their galaxy-saving destiny could end up subverting the concept of the Chosen One, opening a door for the Chosen Ones. Ultimately, an incursion from the Beyond has a lot of potential because this unites the Force as one, creates new identities for the franchise figureheads, and most importantly, allows the balance so integral to the franchise. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I want to see Kylo Ren fall like the villain he is. And I understand he is Han and Leia's kid, but he killed Han. I would like to see him fall as the villain. But I got to say about the whole movie, I'm very excited for it. This is the first time I have no idea what's going to happen, so bring it on. I'm actually excited for Episode 9. Hope it's good. Well, now, enough of Star Wars and on to Toy Story 4, where we have an article that basically says everybody needs to complain about something. Toy Story 4, PETA wants Pixar to make major changes to Bo Peep. Bo Peep is finally returning to action this year in Toy Story 4, where she will reunite with Woody and the rest of Andy's former toys. She's gone through quite an evolution since we saw her last, though, as years on the road have turned her into quite the badass. Bo Peep is much different than we remember, a much more capable hero than she used to be, but PETA still has a bone to pick with the Disney Pixar character. Was anyone really calling on Bo Peep to be made into a badass? Seriously? Show of hands? Nobody? No one? Are any females really offended by the character of Bo Peep being in her bonnet and her dress? No? Show of hands? Nobody? Alrighty then. After the new image of Bo Peep from Toy Story 4 was released online this week, well, I'm sorry, this is a little older article. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals has reached out to Pixar and director Josh Cooley asking for them to remove Bo Peep's crook from the film entirely. If you're unfamiliar with the word crook, It's that tall sheep herding staff that Bo Peep carries. Yeah, I agree. Remove the crook and give her one of those things that kills cows that Javier Bardem was carrying around in No Country for Old Men. Then Bo Peep will be a badass. That's what I say. That's my vote. According to PETA, the crook is a symbol of violence against the sheep as it was historically used to hook lambs by the legs and neck in the wool industry. The organization compared it to the bull hook used on cattle, which has now been widely banned. A badass Bo Peep would likely bop the shearers, not the sheep, writes PETA, manager of animals in film and television Lauren Thompson. A symbol of domination over any animal is a thing of the past and not something that belongs in Toy Story 4. Won't you please consider removing Bo Peep's crook from the final animation? Wrong, you hippie. Bo Peep has been a sheep herder since the 16th century. This woman could use that crook in such a way that the sheep wouldn't even feel it before they were either dead or shorn. So don't give us any of that, no, bop the shearers. No, because she doesn't hold the same freaking empathy that you have for the animals that basically feed and clothe us, okay? So stop bringing that hippy-dippy crap on over to us. Toy Story 4 is fine. And lastly, we have a story about the Wonder Twins, and really I was just looking for one question to be answered when I found this article. How much influence does Brian Michael Bendis have? If you've noticed around this particular channel, he's not exactly my favorite writer these days. Wonder Twins reactivate to take on real-world teenager problems. I'm too old to get triggered, but that definitely annoys me and kind of makes me nervous about the book. Previously known as the wacky alien kids from the Super Friends TV show, the Wonder Twins are being introduced into DC's primary comic book universe on a much more realistic level as high schoolers who deal with common teen issues. But are they still aliens? Will they still be having sex with each other like we assume they did on the Super Friends? And are these teen problems actual teen problems or things that adults think that teens think about? Although they've appeared in comic books before, this new Wonder Twins limited series introduces them as interns at the Hall of Justice who are also dealing with the trials of attending high school on Earth. Mark Russell, best known by DC readers for his satiric titles like Flintstones and Prez, is hoping his approach to the two characters is relatable as they deal with things like dating and trying to be popular. Written by Mark Russell, A-OK. Not Brian Michael Bendis, I am fine with it. I loved the Flintstones, by the way, and I recommend you check it out. It was a lot of fun, and yes, it had an environmental message to it, but it did not overtake the story, and that's what made it great. Brian Michael Bendis apparently does not have the writing cred, so hey, rock on. Although it does seem like we're going to get teenage problems through the eyes of an adult, which, okay, I guess we'll see. There will also be the sort of satirical humor for which Russell is known. As the writer said, he believes the Wonder Twins serves an allegory for the post-millennial generation and the very serious problems that we're expecting them to deal with. I wonder if Mark understands that the post-millennial generation is far more conservative than the millennial generation. That would be an interesting take. I would love to see a comic book approach teenagers in that light. I doubt it'll happen, but I still think it would be pretty cool. Alrighty, gang, that's the news, and I am out of here. What do you think? What'd you think about the Star Wars, the new villain? What do you think about Bo Peep and the attack on Toy Story 4 by PETA? And what do you think about the Wonder Twins? Are you going to be buying that book or no? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, why don't you go on over and watch any of the videos that are popping up right here? I think you'll find them fascinating. Also, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon and to Ko-Fi. Drop $1 in the till and helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.